Hello collective, it's Kai. I'm here at Red Rock Viewpoint. I'll give you a little look around. Sorry, very unstable. Yeah, it's beautiful. Sunset time right now. And I'm gonna pull some cards for myself. To preface this video, I've been having an experience with myself where I'm recognizing there's a lot that I haven't acknowledged when it comes to how I choose myself and therefore how I choose others. And because of that, I've been recognizing that there is a need for balance. And there is remnants of pain that I'm letting go of. And I think one of the biggest things about this whole presence is to not stop myself, you know? If I'm upset, if I feel frustrated, if I feel confused, if I feel joyful, hopeful, and desiring, there's nothing wrong with that. And I know that, you know? I know these things. The things that I talk about, I know. I think the biggest implementation of that, though, is to actually do it. And that's kind of what I'm facing right now. So this is kind of like a different side of myself that I feel like I'm not as consistently showing others, which is fine, because it's good to have parts of myself to just me. But I think it's also recognizing there are boundaries, there are things that I am accountable for, and in order to actually maintain that, I have to speak up, I have to let people know. And yesterday I went clubbing, and I usually go alone. I don't really go with people, especially because I don't really have those kinds of close connections or relationships in the place that I'm at right now, besides like my sister and like my family. But I went with someone that I met for work, and it was interesting to be around another energy while I'm in a space that I'm usually in alone. And to speak up about just myself, I recognize that I'm not as open to physical proximities with people as much as I would like to be. I understand now that there is a lot of fear and pain and processing that still needs to be done. I'm just gonna give a little trigger warning. So don't watch this if you feel like you're not in a good space right now to listen to my own personal experience. But I went to Korea when I was like 23, so like a year ago. And I was at the club in Itaewon. It was a night where I was with my friend, I was with my sister, and it was like, I don't even think my sister was there, but when I was there, I experienced a lot of people who touched me, right? So I got molested while I was at this club, and it was by many people, and it was just in passing, right? There were times where I would be walking with my friend and I would get boxed in by men. It was their bodies pressing up against me, bumping into me, and on time and time again. And hands. Many fucking hands just on me, touching me. And there were times where even like I would be walking and people would grab my arm and try to like drag me in the opposite direction of my friend. This was the first time that this had ever happened to me. I'd never experienced that level of I'm really like not sure why when I'm by myself I don't cry, but then it's like I'm talking about it and it's just me right now. But the reason why I bring that up is because I recognize that that really affected me. And there are other experiences, of course, that affected me as well. But the reason why I bring that up is because I've been really thinking, which might be counterintuitive, but I've been really just processing whether I truly am aligned with myself in desiring having intimacy with someone. And I've been talking to my friend about this, and I get very frustrated with myself because I also don't like liking someone very intensely and feeling that pain. I'm sure no one does, right? But it's like I do feel like it's challenging because I put up walls, because I repress, and because I try to stop myself from feeling these things. And that's why I'm here to talk about the reason why I myself feel like I'm discovering a lot of different nuances of my sexuality. I was kind of like looking into different forms of sexuality where like you don't feel sexual attraction to like just anyone. It's like very select few people, but I feel like for me it hasn't had a necessary trend except that their gender identity is male, and or that I know of. But there's different points for me to note for that, because I don't want it to seem like I'm not also acknowledging, yes, the way that I was raised does contribute to my fear of intimacy, and I myself am still trying to honestly recollect certain information from the past, which I am having a hard time recollecting because of my trauma response of not having good memory. But I think the biggest thing though was I yesterday had to speak up twice. Once was with my friend, and I just like let them know, I was like, I just want to let you know I'm not open to very close proximities with people. And then I told them my experience, and it wasn't to like paint them as like a possible person who would do this. It was just that is just how I'm noting where my space is at. And then even like more of an abrasive type of energy would be when I was walking out of the club. I was just like jamming to the music, right? So I was just like bopping my head and like having a good time on my own, just walking out. And then this guy just started patting me on the back, and I literally immediately just looked back at him and I was like, don't touch me. And it's that kind of flared up for me later, because I was like, confirmation. I was like, fuck that, bro. Like, I literally not once gave you consent. And when I myself am practicing abstinence, I am recognizing that that is also a very clear no to people. And it's funny though, because I feel that even though I'm not feeling like sexually attracted to people, a lot of people at least, even though I find them physically attractive, like you're a beautiful person, it doesn't mean that I'm going to do anything or approach you or anything like that. I looked it up and it said like there's orchid sexual, and there's just a lot of different terms that I'm like trying to learn more about on my own. So if you like know what I'm talking about, then please enlighten me, because I just need more information to like really figure this out, because can't really, it's not that I can't. There's just not enough information that's been shared to me growing up in that it wasn't a possibility, in other words. Like, literally, I didn't even know that you could like a female, you know what I mean? Like, when I did as a child, I was just like, oh, I just appreciate women so much, and like I adore them, like they're amazing. And then it's like later on I recognized, I was like, oh, wait a minute. And so even back then I have felt this way, where I'm not very like, and it's different because you're a child, but I'm not physically attracted to people in a way where I'm still discovering this, okay? I'm still discovering myself in this whole process. But I think overall, what I recognize is that I'm very particular. And because of that, it comes with a lot more responsibility to maintain my truth, because it's not something that I've encountered in another being quite yet, or at least with the people that I'm around. Yeah, so I'm working on it, I'm working on it. And I think that the most important part is, like, especially with me sharing like my whole spiritual processing of self, it's like I'm figuring shit out every day. I am figuring shit out every day. There are times where like I would love to share those very like hard times with you guys, but I have a hard time sharing that, because I'm like, I need to figure this out. I need to be more collected, like to present myself to people, in other words. So I'm like really understanding how much putting pressure on myself has just been, it's just been. But I'm gonna just pull a few more cards. I feel like this video is very just me sharing a little bit of the point where I'm at. There's a full moon happening in, is it Aquarius? Oh man, is it Virgo? Anyways, wait, no, I don't have service here, so I can't. Okay, but I stand in it. I stand in my experience, and yes, that's how it was in the past, but the way that I'm perceiving it now, or the new perspective that I've gained from facing that every single time it's come up, where I'm trying to understand why I'm so keen on asking others to choose me. I wonder if that makes sense. But wow, 7/7 significance. I saw 777 at the gas station today, so thank you, confirmation. But I'm not like, it's not like a place where like I feel necessarily debilitated or anything, but it is dawning on me. I'm like, it's just not there. It's not. I've tried to be, oh, bro, my whole deck just fell. Oh, oof. But I put myself out there, I'm not afraid to, most of the time. And I do have to acknowledge that there are times where I'm extremely dysregulated, and like my nervous system is like, yeah, just dysregulated. And so I wanted to share that truth with you guys, that even when it feels like no one else agrees with you, it doesn't mean necessarily that their perspective on it isn't like, or it doesn't make sense. It's more of like finding my own sense in my own reasons. Why did I choose this person? Why did I choose this person before myself? Did I choose myself? Am I continuing to choose myself? What does that feel like? How does it look? Wow. There's bikers here too. They're all like, they all gathered and stuff, and I was like, damn, I want a fucking bike. I want a bike too. Oh, it's shaky. Oh, okay, but anyways, you guys will see me. You guys will see me continue to progress in this manner. I stand true by it. That's why I practice abstinence, because I know that I know that I don't even desire being with someone unless it's a committed relationship. And that's why I also feel that I'm a more monogamous person versus polyamory. Though I actually really love the whole prospects of polyamory, like how you can just connect with so many. I've just met a lot more people who partake in polyamory than I could have ever imagined I could have touched base with, But it's interesting. It's just an interesting process because by admitting and acknowledging that, I just settled down, I just calmed down, and I was like, that's why, because I choose people. The reflection is so obvious. I choose people. I'm the one who's choosing. I'm the one who's choosing. So it's like I wrote in my journal, and I was like, even when you like something, it doesn't mean that they're gonna like you back. And it doesn't mean they're gonna like you in any way, like, synonymous to how you like them. Why should they, though, Why should it be that way? Why should, it made me kind of, really take a step back, because I was like, wait a minute, I can't control anyone else. I can't control anything outside of myself. Why do I feel like their experience is exactly like mine? That literally just blew my mind, because I was like, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. With all due respect, everyone is meant to have their own choice. That's their choice, And I really have been understanding that because of my, the most recent relationship that I was in. I recognize as well that I was choosing to walk away. I was choosing to walk away because that was me choosing myself. And then at the same time, I was experiencing so many deep emotions. I was actively traumatizing myself. And I felt that recently. I had a dark night of the soul, and I was just like, oh my gosh, it's here, that feeling. And that feeling fucking sucks. That feeling sucks. Where I just feel so unworthy. I think now that I am finally aligning with this sense of self, where I'm understanding this choice to choose me is truly empowering me in ways that I can't even begin to explain, describe, or foresee. That is why having faith in myself, trusting myself, building that trust with myself has been so important. It has been so important. It has been so significant, and it matters. It matters when you stand by you. It matters when you choose and you know it's out of love. You know that your intentions are pure. And so looking back on it is like, how is it that this presence now is trying to debilitate such a pure experience, what's the point of that? Yes, there is a need for balance. You are given balance all the time. You are served balance by the universe all the time. We do not need to make this more difficult, And that's truly what I'm trying to do more and more of. Not even trying, I am doing it. And it feels so much better to just be myself and to walk away when I don't want to be in a space, and to stand up for my truth, to not be triggered, to process myself, to acknowledge and observe myself, to just be with myself, honestly. I don't need anything else. I will always figure things out. It always works in my favor. And it's just, I think that's why I feel frustrated when people don't choose me, because I'm like, how? I'm like, that literally doesn't make sense to me. So bye. I genuinely don't think I could understand that. And it's funny to say that, even because when that happens, that's a direct reflection of what I'm not choosing in myself. So it's like an immediate like reversal. It's putting a reverse card. like you can keep putting down the reverse cards, but I have the ultimate like infinity reverse. It's like it's always gonna come back to me. It's always gonna come back to me. This choice is my responsibility, and I'm willing to take that. And I genuinely feel like, yes, that does make my love intense and very what's the word for that? Very purposeful, you know? I choose you. I choose you. I was trying to sing something, but it didn't work out. Oh God. Anyways, it's getting cold as fuck. I need to go, but this is where I just want to say, yeah, I go through shit, but like everyone else, you know, we just have our own challenges. And I'm not really asking for any advice or anything like that, but I will say one thing. We are all deserving of love. We are all deserving of motherfucking love. And that love, that form of love, that the needs that are going to be met within a connection where companionship, commitment, whatever you desire, okay? But for me, it's that. We all deserve it in our own ways, respectfully so. And it's not even about settling for less. God, fuck that shit. Like, there's no less or more of. Like, yes, you can add, you can subtract, you can take stuff away by simply taking a step back, releasing, like detaching. Yeah, those are things, those are really real things. But it's not to like compare, you know? It's to simply understand. This is why I react to this situation in this way, is because I know that I need to give myself love, because there is an absence of love here. I am not loving myself. Proactively, I am not loving myself by simply thinking pity upon myself, inflicting pain upon myself. Like, why the fuck, you know? Anyways, thank you so much for being here. I'm like kind of still hesitant to even post this, but we'll see how I feel once I get service. Might even forget about this and not post it, but thank you. Thank you for being you entirely. And I truly do wish you the best in continuing to choose yourself and commune with yourself and love yourself and forgive yourself. Because I send myself that same energy, man. We've definitely got this, for sure. Have no doubts. I have no doubts about that. At all. It's just more of like really acknowledging the pain and processing it so that I can let it go. Because I'm not here to victim mentality myself again. I'm not about that anymore. So yeah, sending you the best, okay? Bye.